Have you ever wondered what it would feel like to face life's storms with unshakable calm? Imagine navigating criticism, setbacks, or even chaos with the confidence of someone who knows their inner peace cannot be disturbed. What if the challenges that once overwhelmed you could instead fuel your growth and resilience? Today, we're diving into the transformative power of 10 timeless principles rooted in wisdom that has guided millions for centuries. These are not just teachings. They are a roadmap to mastering your emotions, building unbreakable strength, and finding peace amidst life's chaos. From learning how to let go of anger to turning setbacks into stepping stones, this journey will inspire and empower you to reclaim your inner power. And here's the best part: you don't need to be a monk or a philosopher to apply these lessons. They are simple, practical, and accessible to everyone, no matter where you are in life. But before we begin, let's set the intention to grow together. If you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with someone who could use a little peace in their life, and subscribe to the channel for more life-changing insights like this. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. Now, let's dive into these 10 principles that could change your life forever. The idea of living a life where nothing can disturb your peace is not just an aspiration but a possibility when we delve into the wisdom of Buddhist principles. These teachings offer profound insights into managing life's challenges, strengthening inner resilience, and fostering a sense of calm even in the face of adversity. The key lies in understanding that peace is not something external to be pursued, but a state of being cultivated from within. To begin with, the principle of having firm purposes acts as the foundation of inner resilience. Knowing your goals and values provides clarity and direction, much like a lighthouse guiding ships through stormy waters. Imagine an athlete preparing for a marathon. Despite the grueling training and moments of doubt, the vision of crossing the finish line keeps them focused and motivated. Similarly, when your purpose is clear, distractions and obstacles lose their power to derail you. This principle is not about rigidly clinging to plans, but rather maintaining a sense of purpose that anchors you during turbulent times. Another transformative teaching is the ability to become untouchable, not by shutting yourself off from the world, but by mastering your reactions to it. Think about public figures like Michelle Obama, who have faced criticism with grace. Instead of retaliating, they embody composure, understanding that others' negativity often reflects their own insecurities. Buddhism teaches that no one can hurt you without your consent. This means choosing how to respond rather than reacting impulsively. It's a liberating realization that shifts control back to you, allowing you to maintain your peace even in confrontational situations. Equally powerful is the approach to handling insults and offenses. Buddhist philosophy invites us to see such moments as opportunities for growth rather than threats to our self-worth. Consider a common scenario. A coworker makes a snide remark during a meeting. Instead of reacting with anger, you pause, acknowledge the comment without personalizing it, and move forward. This response disarms the negativity and prevents it from taking root in your mind. As Buddha said, hatred does not cease by hatred, but by love. Responding with understanding rather than anger not only preserves your peace, but also breaks the cycle of negativity. When faced with slander or negative talk, it's easy to let emotions take over. However, Buddhism encourages us to view such situations with compassion. For example, when celebrities are criticized in tabloids, some rise above it by continuing to focus on their craft and letting their work speak for itself. Negative words often say more about the speaker than the target. By maintaining your integrity and focusing on your values, you neutralize the impact of such negativity. Guarding your mind is another cornerstone of Buddhist practice. Think of your mind as a garden. Whatever you nurture will grow. If you allow negative thoughts like self-doubt or anger to take root, they will overshadow positivity and peace. Practicing mindfulness, such as through meditation or journaling, helps you become aware of these thoughts and choose which ones to cultivate. For instance, someone recovering from a setback might focus on their progress rather than their failures, fostering a mindset of growth and resilience. Fear and shame, two emotions that often hold us back, can be overcome through self-awareness and courage. Picture a student nervous about presenting in front of their class. Instead of avoiding the challenge, they practice, face their fear, and eventually gain confidence. Buddhism teaches that fear is often a projection of the mind, not reality. By confronting it and reframing it as an opportunity for growth, you reclaim your power and expand your potential. The idea that everyone you encounter is a teacher is a profound perspective that shifts how we view relationships and conflicts. Imagine a difficult boss who challenges you at every turn. While frustrating, such interactions teach patience, resilience, and even self-awareness. This principle encourages us to approach life with curiosity, asking, "What can I learn from this experience?" It fosters humility and opens the door to continuous growth. Living with an unshakable ethical code provides stability in a world full of temptations and uncertainties. Think about figures like Martin Luther King Jr., who adhered to principles of nonviolence even in the face of extreme opposition. This ethical steadfastness not only inspires trust but also reinforces inner strength. Aligning your actions with your values creates harmony between your inner and outer worlds, fostering a deep sense of peace. The principle of living according to nature reminds us of the importance of harmony and acceptance. Nature, with its cycles of change, teaches us that impermanence is a natural part of life. When you accept this, you can navigate transitions with grace. For instance, adapting to a new job or city becomes easier when you view it as part of life's ebb and flow rather than resisting change. Aligning with the natural order reduces stress and helps you find peace in the present moment. Finally, weaponizing gratitude transforms challenges into opportunities for positivity. Take the example of someone who has lost their job. Instead of dwelling on the loss, they focus on the chance to explore new opportunities and spend time with loved ones. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, fostering a mindset of abundance. It strengthens relationships, enhances well-being, and builds resilience, allowing you to approach life with joy and optimism. These Buddhist principles are not abstract philosophies, but practical tools that can be integrated into daily life. By cultivating firm purposes, mastering your responses, embracing mindfulness, and practicing gratitude, you create a strong foundation for inner peace. This foundation allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace, transforming obstacles into stepping stones toward growth and resilience. Peace truly comes from within, and these teachings illuminate the path to discovering it. Having firm purposes is like having a compass in a world full of distractions and uncertainties. When life gets tough, clear goals and values serve as your anchor, keeping you steady and focused. Imagine how chaotic life would feel without knowing where you're headed or why you're pursuing something. It's like being on a ship in the middle of a storm without a map or destination. You're at the mercy of the winds. But when you have a clear purpose, even the harshest storms can't knock you off course. Think about someone preparing for a marathon. Every day, they wake up early to train, pushing through pain and fatigue. What keeps them going? It's not just the desire to run, but the vision of crossing the finish line, achieving something they've set their heart on. This clarity of purpose fuels their motivation and resilience. Similarly, in our everyday lives, having firm purposes allows us to face challenges with determination and composure. Whether it's pursuing a career, building a family, or dedicating time to a passion project, knowing your why gives you the strength to persevere. Consider someone like Malala Yousafzai, who faced immense adversity but remained committed to her goal of advocating for girls' education. Despite threats and even a life-threatening attack, her unwavering sense of purpose guided her actions. Her story illustrates how having a clear mission can help you overcome fear and uncertainty. It's not that people with strong purposes don't face difficulties, they do. The difference is that their purpose becomes a guiding light, illuminating the path forward even in the darkest moments. On a smaller scale, think about the daily lives of parents who juggle multiple responsibilities. They may face exhaustion and moments of doubt, but their love and commitment to providing for their children drive them forward. This sense of purpose helps them make sacrifices without resentment and find meaning in the challenges they encounter. It's the clarity of their why that transforms the struggle into something fulfilling. When reflecting on this principle, It's essential to understand that your purpose doesn't have to be grand or world-changing. It could be as simple as striving to be kind to others, creating a happy home, or continuously learning and growing. The key is that it resonates deeply with you and aligns with your values. Without this alignment, it's easy to feel lost or disheartened when things don't go as planned. Purpose isn't about perfection, it's about persistence. In a modern context, think about students navigating the pressures of school and future career paths. A student who is clear about their goals, whether it's becoming a doctor, an artist, or an entrepreneur, approaches their studies with a sense of direction. They're not immune to setbacks like poor grades or tough exams, but their focus on the bigger picture keeps them moving forward. On the other hand, students without a clear purpose might find themselves drifting, feeling overwhelmed by every challenge because they lack a strong why to guide them. The same applies in the workplace. Employees who have a clear understanding of their role and how it connects to their career aspirations tend to be more motivated and engaged. They see obstacles as opportunities to learn rather than roadblocks. For example, a teacher passionate about education will find joy in helping students succeed, even when faced with administrative challenges or a lack of resources. Their purpose transforms their work from a job into a meaningful mission. Purpose also helps in maintaining resilience during personal struggles. Imagine someone recovering from a serious illness. The journey might be physically and emotionally draining, but a clear purpose, whether it's regaining health to enjoy time with loved ones or returning to a fulfilling career, can provide the motivation needed to persevere. It's this sense of purpose that helps people push through rehabilitation, embrace lifestyle changes, and stay hopeful despite setbacks. An excellent example of this principle in action is the story of a young monk who decided to leave his worldly comforts to dedicate his life to serving others. Despite criticism from his family and peers who couldn't understand his choice, he remained steadfast in his mission. His clarity of purpose not only gave him peace amid the noise of doubt and judgment, but also inspired others around him to reflect on their own lives. His story is a reminder that having firm purposes isn't about pleasing others or meeting societal expectations. It's about staying true to what feels meaningful and authentic to you. Purpose isn't just about navigating hardships. It also brings clarity to decision-making in everyday life. When you know what truly matters to you, it becomes easier to say no to distractions and yes to opportunities that align with your goals. For example, someone whose purpose is to improve their physical health will find it easier to skip late-night snacks or commit to regular exercise. It's not about willpower alone, but about aligning actions with values, which makes the effort feel worthwhile. Even when life throws unexpected challenges your way, a strong sense of purpose can help you adapt and find new paths. Imagine someone whose career is suddenly disrupted due to unforeseen circumstances. Instead of spiraling into despair, they take a step back and reflect on their ultimate goals. Perhaps their purpose wasn't tied to a specific job, but to making a positive impact in their field. This clarity allows them to pivot, find alternative opportunities, and continue working toward their mission. One of the most practical ways to strengthen your sense of purpose is through daily reflection. Start each morning by reminding yourself of what's important to you and why you're pursuing it. This simple habit can set the tone for your day, helping you stay focused and resilient when challenges arise. It's like recalibrating your compass, ensuring that you're always moving in the right direction. In conclusion, having firm purposes is a transformative principle that provides stability, motivation, and clarity in an often chaotic world. Whether you're navigating major life decisions or dealing with everyday challenges, a clear sense of purpose acts as your guiding star. It gives you the strength to persevere, the focus to stay on track, and the resilience to face adversity with grace. By reflecting on your values and aligning your actions with your goals, you can create a life filled with meaning and fulfillment, no matter what storms come your way. The concept of becoming untouchable is about taking control of your emotional responses rather than allowing external circumstances or others' actions to dictate your state of mind. It's not about becoming indifferent to the world or pretending not to care, but about empowerment, choosing how you react to situations in a way that preserves your peace and integrity. This principle is transformative because it shifts the power dynamic. Instead of being a passive recipient of others' negativity, You become an active participant in shaping your emotional experience. One of the most relatable modern examples is dealing with negativity on social media. It's all too common for people to face criticism, harsh comments, or outright insults online. Whether you're an influencer, an entrepreneur, or just sharing a personal opinion, the internet can often feel like a hostile space. However, the principle of becoming untouchable teaches us that these comments only have the power to hurt if we let them. Imagine a scenario where someone posts a mean comment on your picture or criticizes your work. Instead of reacting impulsively, perhaps firing back with an angry reply, you pause and reflect. You recognize that the comment says more about the person who wrote it than it does about you. By choosing not to engage, you deny the negativity a foothold in your mind. This idea is beautifully illustrated in the story of a wise sage who was mocked by villagers. When confronted with insults, he calmly replied, "Thank you for your gift, but I do not accept it." His words highlight an important truth. Insults and negativity only take root if you allow them. When you refuse to accept the metaphorical gift, the energy of the insult dissipates. This doesn't mean you ignore problems or pretend everything is fine. It's about responding in a way that protects your peace and keeps you grounded. To apply this principle in real life, consider situations in the workplace. Imagine a coworker who is constantly critical or dismissive of your ideas. It's natural to feel defensive or frustrated, but reacting emotionally often escalates the situation. Instead, you could acknowledge their feedback neutrally or even thank them for sharing their perspective. This disarms the criticism and shows that you're confident enough not to take things personally. Over time, such responses often lead to improved dynamics because they shift the tone of interactions. The power of choosing your response extends beyond verbal insults to other challenging situations. Think of a time when you were stuck in traffic and another driver honked angrily at you. Your initial reaction might be irritation or even anger, but if you pause and decide not to let it affect your mood, you reclaim your power. Instead of allowing a momentary interaction to ruin your day, you let it pass like a cloud in the sky. This ability to remain calm and composed, regardless of external triggers, is the essence of becoming untouchable. In personal relationships, this principle can be a game changer. Disagreements or heated arguments often lead to words spoken in anger, which can cause lasting damage. But when you practice becoming untouchable, you learn to step back and separate the emotion from the situation. For instance, if a loved one says something hurtful during an argument, instead of retaliating or shutting down, you might choose to respond with understanding. "I can see you're upset. Let's talk about this when we're both calmer." This not only diffuses the tension, but also protects the relationship from unnecessary harm. The principle of becoming untouchable is deeply tied to the Buddhist idea that suffering often comes not from the events themselves, but from our reaction to them. Consider someone who loses their job unexpectedly. The immediate response might be panic, frustration, or even despair. However, by reframing the situation, they can see it as an opportunity for growth, a chance to explore new career paths or develop skills they've long neglected. The event itself is neutral. It's the individual's response that determines whether it becomes a source of suffering or a stepping stone to something better. Another compelling example comes from sports. Athletes frequently face criticism, both from fans and the media. Take basketball star LeBron James, who has been subjected to intense scrutiny throughout his career. Instead of letting negative comments derail him, he channels that energy into improving his game and proving his critics wrong. This ability to remain focused and unshaken by external opinions is a testament to the power of becoming untouchable. For students, the concept can be applied to academic pressure. Imagine a high school student who struggles with a difficult subject and receives a low grade. Their peers might tease them, or they might feel like a failure. But instead of internalizing those feelings, they could choose to see the grade as feedback, a guide to areas where they need improvement. By focusing on their own progress rather than others' opinions, they maintain their confidence and motivation. In a broader societal context, the idea of becoming untouchable encourages resilience in the face of systemic challenges. Activists and leaders who fight for justice often face intense opposition and personal attacks. Figures like Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King Jr. exemplify this principle. Despite facing enormous hostility, they remained calm and committed to their cause, refusing to let anger or hatred dictate their actions. Their ability to stay untouchable in the face of adversity inspired millions and brought about meaningful change. It's important to note that becoming untouchable doesn't mean suppressing emotions or avoiding conflict altogether. It's about responding with intention rather than reacting impulsively. For example, if someone criticizes your work in a professional setting, dismissing it entirely might not be helpful. Instead, you can calmly assess whether there's any validity to their feedback and decide how to act on it. This balanced approach ensures that you remain open to growth without letting negativity undermine your confidence. Developing this mindset takes practice. One way to start is by incorporating mindfulness into your daily routine. When you encounter a stressful situation, pause and take a deep breath. This simple act creates a moment of space between the stimulus and your response, allowing you to choose how to react. Over time, this practice builds emotional resilience and helps you stay composed in the face of challenges. Another helpful technique is journaling. Reflect on moments when you felt hurt or upset by others' actions and ask yourself, did I give too much weight to their words or behaviors? How could I have responded differently? By analyzing past experiences, you gain insights that can guide your future reactions. In essence, becoming untouchable is about reclaiming your emotional autonomy. It's recognizing that while you can't control what others say or do, you have full control over how you respond. This principle empowers you to navigate life's challenges with grace and strength, ensuring that your inner peace remains intact regardless of external circumstances. True power lies in this ability to choose your response, transforming potential sources of pain into opportunities for growth and understanding. Insults and offenses are an inevitable part of life, but how we respond to them defines the impact they have on us. Understanding that insults often reflect the struggles or insecurities of the person delivering them is the first step toward freeing ourselves from their grip. Buddhist teachings remind us that hatred does not cease by hatred, but by love, a principle that can transform how we perceive and respond to negative interactions. When someone hurls an insult, it's easy to internalize their words, letting them wound us like arrows piercing through our defenses. However, these arrows only harm if we catch them. Imagine a scenario in which a stranger honks aggressively at you in traffic. The initial reaction might be irritation or anger. But what if you paused for a moment and reframed the situation? Perhaps the person is having a stressful day, rushing to a hospital, or overwhelmed by their own problems. By choosing compassion over anger, you not only deflect the insult, but also maintain your own peace of mind. This choice isn't about excusing bad behavior, but about refusing to let it dominate your emotional state. The ability to remain calm in the face of insult or offense is a skill that can be cultivated with practice. Consider the workplace, where criticism is sometimes constructive, sometimes not as common. Imagine a scenario where a colleague dismisses your idea in a meeting with a sarcastic remark. The natural reaction might be defensiveness or a biting comeback, but this only escalates the tension. Instead, by responding neutrally or with curiosity, could you elaborate on why you feel that way? You shift the focus back to the substance of the discussion. This not only preserves your composure, but also demonstrates professionalism and maturity. In personal relationships, insults can often feel more cutting because they come from those closest to us. During arguments, people sometimes say things in anger that they don't truly mean. Instead of lashing back, consider pausing and recognizing that their words may stem from frustration, fear, or hurt rather than a genuine reflection of their feelings toward you. Responding with calmness, such as saying, "I understand you're upset. Let's talk when we're both feeling calmer," can defuse the situation and prevent further harm. This approach fosters understanding and strengthens the relationship rather than allowing it to deteriorate in a cycle of retaliatory anger. Historical examples also illustrate the power of choosing calmness over anger. Mahatma Gandhi, during his efforts to lead India to independence, was frequently insulted and demeaned by those who opposed him. Instead of reacting with hostility, he remained composed, using nonviolent resistance and dialogue to achieve his goals. His ability to rise above personal offenses inspired millions and demonstrated the strength of responding with love and dignity rather than hatred. On a smaller scale, think about interactions in public spaces. For example, a customer service worker might encounter a rude customer who complains loudly and unfairly. While it's tempting for the worker to snap back, those who remain patient and professional often find the situation resolves more quickly. The customer, confronted with kindness instead of hostility, might even apologize for their behavior. This dynamic illustrates how choosing calmness can not only protect your peace, but also influence others to reflect on their actions. The principle of not taking offense is particularly relevant in the digital age, where online platforms often amplify negativity. Social media, for instance, can be a breeding ground for insults and trolling. A public figure might post an update and immediately receive a flood of disparaging comments. Those who let such remarks affect them can quickly become consumed by anxiety or self-doubt. However, many have learned to rise above it, understanding that such comments often reflect the frustrations or envy of the commenters rather than any truth about themselves. By focusing on their purpose and ignoring the negativity, they maintain their mental clarity and continue their work. Even in casual settings, the ability to deflect insults can be a valuable tool. Imagine being at a family gathering where a relative makes a snide remark about your career or lifestyle choices. Instead of reacting defensively, you could respond with humor or simply let the comment pass. This approach shows that you're confident in your choices and unwilling to let others dictate how you feel about yourself. A key aspect of this principle is understanding that our reactions to insults are often tied to our own insecurities. If a particular comment stings, it may be because it touches on a fear or doubt we already hold. For example, if someone comments on your weight and it upsets you, it might be worth reflecting on whether that's an area where you feel vulnerable. By addressing these internal insecurities, you can reduce the power such comments hold over you. In this way, insults become opportunities for self-awareness and growth. Children often provide simple yet profound examples of how to handle insults. Think about how young kids might respond to a playground taunt like, "You're weird." Some might cry or get angry, but others might shrug it off or even agree with a laugh, saying, "Yeah, I guess I am." The latter response shows a natural resilience and confidence that adults can learn from. By not taking the insult seriously, the child prevents it from escalating into a bigger issue. In professional sports, athletes frequently face taunts from opponents or spectators. Serena Williams, for instance, has dealt with both criticism and outright insults throughout her career. Rather than letting these comments derail her, she channels her energy into her performance, using her success as the ultimate response. Her ability to stay focused and not be consumed by negativity is a testament to the power of choosing calmness over anger. The transformative effect of this principle is not just about external interactions, but also about the internal freedom it provides. Holding on to anger or resentment after an insult is like carrying a heavy weight. It only burdens you. Letting go, on the other hand, frees your mind and allows you to focus on what truly matters. This is not to say that it's easy or immediate. It requires practice and mindfulness. But over time, as you develop the habit of responding with calmness, you'll find that fewer things bother you, and your overall sense of peace increases. One practical way to cultivate this mindset is through mindfulness meditation. By regularly practicing observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, you train yourself to pause before reacting. When faced with an insult, this pause allows you to choose a response that aligns with your values rather than reacting impulsively. Another technique is to remind yourself of the bigger picture. In the grand scheme of things, most insults are fleeting and insignificant. By keeping this perspective, it becomes easier to let them go. In conclusion, the principle of choosing calmness over anger when faced with insult and offense is a powerful tool for maintaining inner peace. It requires understanding that insults often stem from others' struggles, recognizing the role of our own insecurities, and practicing intentional responses. Whether in traffic, at work, or in personal relationships. This approach transforms potentially negative interactions into opportunities for growth and resilience. By refusing to catch the arrows of insult, you protect your peace and demonstrate the strength that comes from mastering your reactions. Dealing with slander can be one of the most challenging aspects of life, but understanding its roots and choosing how to respond can transform these situations into opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Negative words, especially those intended to harm your reputation, often have less to do with you and more to do with the insecurities or inner struggles of the person spreading them. Slander, in many ways, acts as a mirror, reflecting the doubts, fears, or unhappiness of the individual projecting it. Imagine someone gossiping about your achievements at work, suggesting you don't deserve your success or implying that you achieved it through unfair means. The natural reaction might be to feel defensive, angry, or even to confront the person directly. However, this immediate reaction often fuels the fire, validating their actions and dragging you into the negativity. A more effective approach is to step back and understand why someone might feel compelled to speak ill of you. Perhaps they're envious of your accomplishments or feel inadequate in comparison. Recognizing this doesn't excuse their behavior, but it allows you to respond with compassion and maintain your integrity. One of the most powerful ways to counter slander is to let your actions speak louder than words. Consistency in behavior and adherence to your values will eventually outshine any false narratives others try to construct about you. Take, for instance, public figures like Taylor Swift, who has faced intense criticism and gossip throughout her career. Instead of engaging in battles over every rumor, she focuses on her craft, releasing music that resonates with millions and consistently demonstrating her talent and dedication. Over time, her work and authenticity overshadow the negativity, and her success speaks for itself. This principle applies to everyday life as well. Consider a student who is the subject of rumors at school, perhaps about cheating on an exam, rather than trying to chase down and refute every whisper. They might choose to continue studying diligently, earning high marks on future tests to demonstrate their ability. By maintaining their focus and integrity, they disprove the rumors through action rather than words, which often carries more weight and garners greater respect. In personal relationships, slander can feel even more hurtful because it often comes from people you trust. A friend or family member spreading misinformation about you can be deeply painful, but the same principles apply. Instead of retaliating or falling into despair, it's important to remember that your character is defined by how you behave, not by what others say. By continuing to treat others with kindness and staying true to your values, you reaffirm your integrity and show that the slander does not define you. This perspective aligns with the age-old wisdom that time reveals the truth. False accusations and gossip may create temporary turbulence, but over time, the consistency of your actions will reveal your true character. Imagine a colleague at work spreading rumors that you're difficult to collaborate with. Instead of reacting defensively or trying to confront them, focus on building strong relationships with your team, contributing positively, and demonstrating your professionalism. Over time, the people who work closely with you will see the reality, and the slander will lose its power. Practicing self-compassion is also crucial when dealing with slander. It's easy to internalize the negative words of others, questioning yourself or feeling undeserving. However, it's essential to remind yourself that you are not defined by someone else's opinion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding you would offer a friend in a similar situation. If you find yourself replaying the hurtful words in your mind, pause and ask yourself whether they hold any truth or whether they're simply a reflection of the other person's struggles. More often than not, you'll realize that the slander has little to do with your worth and everything to do with their insecurities. Social media has amplified the reach and impact of slander, making it easier than ever for false narratives to spread. Celebrities, influencers, and even ordinary individuals often find themselves at the center of online gossip or harassment. Take actor Keanu Reeves, widely regarded for his humility and kindness. Despite facing occasional rumors, he rarely addresses them directly, instead continuing to live authentically and treat others with respect. His reputation as a kind and grounded person remains intact because his consistent actions align with the truth of who he is. In a workplace setting, slander can manifest as office politics or backstabbing, where individuals spread falsehoods to gain an advantage. For instance, imagine someone claiming you're not pulling your weight on a project. Instead of engaging in a he said, she said battle, focus on your performance, document your contributions, meet deadlines, and maintain open communication with your team and supervisors. By demonstrating your competence and reliability, you create a track record that speaks louder than any baseless accusations. A historical example that highlights the power of integrity in the face of slander is that of Abraham Lincoln. During his presidency, he faced relentless criticism and personal attacks, often painted in a negative light by his detractors. Instead of becoming defensive or retaliating, Lincoln remained steadfast in his mission, leading with humility and focusing on his goals. Over time, his leadership and unwavering dedication to his principles earned him respect and a lasting legacy, proving that character ultimately prevails over slander. The idea that slander is more about the person spreading it than the target can also be empowering. It shifts the focus from trying to control others' perceptions to understanding that their negativity doesn't define you. Imagine a neighbor spreading rumors about your family. Instead of becoming consumed by anger or trying to appease them, you might choose to focus on fostering positive relationships with other neighbors and continuing to contribute positively to your community. This approach not only preserves your peace of mind, but also strengthens your reputation among those who matter. In many cases, the people spreading slander are looking for a reaction. Engaging with them gives them the attention they seek and validates their efforts. By refusing to engage, you take away their power. This doesn't mean ignoring serious issues or failing to address misunderstandings when necessary, but it does mean choosing your battles wisely and maintaining your dignity. Practicing mindfulness can also be helpful in dealing with slander. When you hear negative words about yourself, take a moment to observe your emotions without judgment. Recognize the hurt or anger, but don't let it consume you. Instead, focus on grounding yourself in the present moment and reflecting on what truly matters. This practice helps create a buffer between the slander and your emotional response, giving you the clarity to choose a measured and thoughtful reaction. Ultimately, dealing with slander requires a combination of self-awareness, integrity, and patience. By understanding that slander often stems from others' insecurities, practicing self-compassion, and letting your actions speak louder than words, you protect your peace and reinforce your character. The truth has a way of coming to light, and in the end, it's your consistent behavior and adherence to your values that will define you, not the fleeting words of others. By staying grounded and focusing on what you can control, you transform slander from a source of pain into an opportunity for growth and resilience. Guarding the mind is a practice that recognizes the profound impact our thoughts have on shaping our reality. Every thought we entertain acts as a seed, capable of growing into something that influences how we feel, act, and perceive the world around us. Much like a gardener tending to their plants, we must carefully nurture the positive and remove the weeds of negativity, creating an inner environment that fosters peace, clarity, and resilience. Imagine your mind as a radio, constantly tuning into different frequencies. Some stations play uplifting music that inspires joy and confidence, while others broadcast static, filling your mental space with noise and negativity. The key to guarding your mind lies in your ability to choose the frequency you tune into. If you spend time dwelling on self-doubt, anger, or fear, those feelings will grow stronger, clouding your perspective and shaping a more negative reality. On the other hand, focusing on gratitude, hope, and kindness amplifies positivity, leading to a healthier mental state and a more fulfilling life. This idea is often reflected in the simple but powerful analogy of a gardener. Picture someone tending a small plot of land. Every day, they pull out weeds, water their plants, and ensure the soil is rich and fertile. Over time, their efforts result in a vibrant, thriving garden. In contrast, a neglected garden becomes overrun with weeds, choking the life out of anything that tries to grow. Our minds work in the same way. If we don't actively manage our thoughts, negativity can take over, stifling positivity and limiting our potential. Meditation is one of the most effective tools for guarding the mind. It allows us to step back and observe our thoughts without judgment, creating space between the stimulus and our reaction. Imagine sitting quietly, focusing on your breath, and noticing a negative thought arise, such as, "I'm not good enough." Instead of letting this thought spiral into a cycle of self-criticism, meditation teaches you to acknowledge it, let it pass, and return to the present moment. Over time, this practice strengthens your ability to recognize and release unhelpful thoughts, preventing them from taking root. In the modern world, where we are constantly bombarded with information, guarding the mind is more critical than ever. Social media, for instance, often exposes us to comparisons, criticism, and unrealistic standards that can fuel insecurity and dissatisfaction. Consider someone scrolling through their feed, seeing friends on luxurious vacations or achieving milestones. Without mindfulness, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparison, feeling inadequate or left behind. But by guarding the mind, you can remind yourself that social media often portrays a highlight reel, not the full picture. Focusing on your own journey and celebrating your progress helps you resist the pull of negativity. Guarding the mind also applies to how we interact with others. Think about a situation where a coworker makes a negative comment about your performance. If you let their words linger in your mind unchecked, they can create doubt and anxiety. However, if you recognize that their comment may reflect their own frustrations rather than an objective truth, you can let it go and focus on constructive feedback instead. By choosing not to dwell on negativity, you protect your mental well-being and stay focused on growth. This principle extends to everyday interactions. Imagine being in line at a grocery store and someone rudely cuts in front of you. The immediate reaction might be frustration or irritation, but guarding your mind means recognizing that you don't have to let this small incident ruin your mood. Instead of dwelling on the rudeness, you might choose to focus on something positive, like the fact that you're about to enjoy your favorite meal with loved ones. This shift in perspective keeps negativity at bay and reinforces your ability to maintain peace in challenging moments. Guarding the mind also involves being intentional about the content we consume. Watching sensationalized news or engaging with toxic entertainment can subtly shape our thoughts and emotions, often without us realizing it. Think about how watching a series of distressing news stories can leave you feeling anxious or hopeless. While staying informed is important, it's equally crucial to balance this with uplifting and inspiring content. Reading a motivational book, listening to calming music, or engaging with stories of resilience and kindness can counterbalance negativity and reinforce a positive mindset. The people we surround ourselves with also play a significant role in shaping our mental environment. Spending time with individuals who constantly complain, gossip, or focus on problems can drain your energy and cloud your perspective. On the other hand, surrounding yourself with supportive, optimistic people helps you cultivate a more positive and constructive mindset. Imagine having a friend who always encourages you to see the bright side of situations and celebrate small victories. Their influence can act as a reminder to guard your mind and prioritize positivity. This practice isn't about avoiding all negativity or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about developing the resilience to face difficulties without letting them consume you. For example, imagine losing out on a promotion at work. It's natural to feel disappointed, but guarding your mind means not allowing this setback to define your worth or future potential. Instead, you might choose to focus on the skills you've gained, the lessons learned, and how you can prepare for the next opportunity. By shifting your focus, you transform a negative experience into a stepping stone for growth. Another practical way to guard the mind is by practicing gratitude. At the end of each day, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're thankful for. These don't have to be grand. Something as simple as enjoying a good cup of coffee or receiving a kind text from a friend can be enough. This habit trains your brain to look for the positive, even in challenging times. Over time, this practice creates a mental habit of focusing on abundance rather than lack, helping you guard your mind against negativity. Guarding the mind also requires self-awareness and accountability. Sometimes, We unknowingly allow negative thoughts to take over because they feel familiar or comforting. For example, replaying an argument in your head might feel like you're working through it, but it often just deepens feelings of anger or resentment. Recognizing this pattern and choosing to redirect your focus is an essential part of guarding the mind. Instead of dwelling on the argument, you might choose to channel your energy into a productive activity or a moment of self-care. The process of guarding the mind is ongoing and requires consistent effort. It's not about achieving a state of perfect positivity, but about building the resilience to navigate life's ups and downs with grace. By treating your mind like a garden, tuning into uplifting frequencies, and using tools like meditation and gratitude, you create a mental environment that supports your well-being and allows you to thrive. Just as a well-tended garden brings joy and beauty, a well-guarded mind brings clarity, peace, and strength. Fear and shame are two of the most powerful emotions that can hold us back from achieving our potential and living authentically. These feelings often stem from internalized beliefs about inadequacy or the fear of judgment from others. They act like shadows, looming large and intimidating, yet they begin to shrink the moment we confront them with self-awareness and truth. To overcome these emotions, it's essential to understand their origins, challenge their validity, and take incremental steps toward freedom. Imagine a shy student who fears public speaking. For this student, the thought of standing in front of an audience is paralyzing. Their mind races with fears. What if I forget my lines? What if they laugh at me? What if I fail? These what-ifs are the building blocks of fear, feeding its intensity. However, the student decides to start small, reading aloud in front of a friend or practicing in the mirror. Each step, though intimidating, chips away at the fear. Eventually, with enough practice and determination, the student delivers a powerful graduation speech, not because the fear disappeared, but because they learned to face it. This process highlights a critical truth about fear. It thrives in avoidance. The more we shy away from what scares us, the larger and more overwhelming it becomes. Conversely, when we face our fears, they lose their power. One effective way to challenge fear is by asking, "What's the worst that can happen?" This question shifts the focus from an abstract, overwhelming feeling to a concrete scenario. For example, if someone fears asking their boss for a raise, they might imagine the worst-case scenario. The boss says no. While disappointing, it's far from catastrophic. This realization often provides the clarity and courage needed to take action. Shame operates in a similar way, feeding on silence and secrecy. It whispers, "You're not good enough," or "If people knew the truth about you, they'd reject you." Like fear, shame can only survive in the shadows. Bringing it into the light through self-reflection, honest conversations, or seeking support can dismantle its hold. Consider someone who feels ashamed of a past failure, such as a business venture that didn't succeed. They might avoid discussing it, fearing judgment, but when they finally open up about their experience, they often find empathy and even admiration for their resilience. This act of vulnerability transforms shame into strength. An example many people can relate to is the fear of failure. Whether it's starting a new project, applying for a dream job, or pursuing a passion, the fear of falling short can be debilitating. However, failure is often the most effective teacher. Take the story of J.K. Rowling, who faced multiple rejections before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon. If she had allowed the fear of more rejection to stop her, the world would have missed out on her incredible story. Her journey demonstrates that failure is not the end, but a step toward growth and success. Another common source of fear is the unknown. This can manifest in situations like moving to a new city, starting a new job, or ending a relationship. The uncertainty of what lies ahead can make us cling to what feels safe, even if it no longer serves us. However, growth often requires stepping into the unknown. Think of someone who hesitates to leave a toxic job because they fear they won't find something better. By taking the leap and trusting in their abilities, they might discover opportunities they never imagined, proving that the fear of the unknown is often worse than the reality. Shame, on the other hand, frequently arises from societal expectations and the fear of not measuring up. For example, Someone who struggles with body image might feel ashamed because they don't fit a certain standard of beauty. This shame can lead to isolation, preventing them from fully participating in life. However, movements promoting body positivity have shown the power of challenging these narratives. By embracing their unique qualities and rejecting unrealistic standards, individuals can transform shame into self-acceptance. Overcoming fear and shame requires self-awareness, which involves recognizing these emotions when they arise and understanding their triggers. For instance, someone who feels anxious in social settings might realize their fear stems from a childhood experience of being ridiculed. By identifying this connection, they can begin to challenge the belief that they're inherently awkward or unworthy of connection. Self-awareness is not about eliminating fear or shame entirely, but about managing these emotions in a way that allows us to move forward. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. Each step forward, no matter how small, builds confidence and reduces the grip of fear and shame. Consider someone afraid of swimming. Their first attempt might involve simply dipping their toes in the water. The next step could be standing in the shallow end, followed by floating with support. Over time, what once seemed impossible becomes second nature. This gradual approach can be applied to any fear, whether it's speaking up in meetings, learning a new skill, or building relationships. Support from others also plays a crucial role in overcoming fear and shame. Sharing your struggles with trusted friends, family, or a therapist can provide validation and perspective. For example, someone ashamed of a career setback might find reassurance in hearing that others have faced similar challenges. This connection reminds us that we're not alone and that our worth is not defined by a single experience. It's also important to celebrate progress. No matter how small, each step toward confronting fear and shame is a victory that deserves recognition. For instance, someone who fears networking might start by attending a small event and introducing themselves to one person. This achievement, though modest, represents a significant step toward overcoming their fear. Celebrating these milestones reinforces the belief that growth is possible. Another powerful tool in overcoming fear and shame is reframing our mindset. Instead of viewing these emotions as obstacles, we can see them as opportunities for growth. Fear often points to areas where we have the potential to expand, while shame highlights values we hold dear. For example, someone ashamed of a failed relationship might realize that their feelings stem from a deep desire for connection and love. By reframing the experience as a learning opportunity, they can approach future relationships with greater self-awareness and confidence. In a practical sense, mindfulness can help manage fear and shame. Practices like meditation or journaling encourage us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. For instance, someone overwhelmed by fear before a big presentation might take a few minutes to breathe deeply and focus on the present moment. This practice not only calms the mind, but also creates space to approach the situation with clarity and intention. Overcoming fear and shame is a lifelong journey, but each step forward brings greater freedom and fulfillment. By confronting these emotions with self-awareness, challenging their validity, and taking intentional action, we can transform them into catalysts for growth. Courage truly grows with each step forward, and as we face our fears and embrace our vulnerabilities, we discover strengths we never knew we had. Fear and shame may never disappear entirely, but they lose their power when met with understanding and resilience. Every person we encounter in life, whether they uplift us or challenge us, has something to teach us. This principle might seem simple at first, but its depth reveals itself in the way it transforms how we perceive relationships and conflicts. The idea that everyone is a teacher encourages us to approach each interaction with humility and curiosity, allowing us to extract valuable lessons even from the most difficult situations. Imagine working with a colleague who always seems to criticize your ideas. At first, their behavior feels frustrating, even demoralizing. But as you take a step back, you begin to realize that their critiques, although blunt, often highlight areas for improvement that others might overlook. This realization doesn't make their approach any less challenging, but it helps you see them as a teacher of resilience, self-awareness, and the ability to find constructive value in criticism. Over time, you may find yourself less reactive and more focused on learning and growing from the experience. In personal relationships, the principle of seeing others as teachers can be even more transformative. Think of a friend or family member who tends to test your patience. Instead of labeling them as difficult, consider the opportunity they provide to practice patience, understanding, or even assertiveness. For example, a sibling who frequently borrows things without asking might initially provoke irritation, but instead of allowing this to fester, you might take it as a lesson in setting boundaries while maintaining kindness. This shift in perspective not only preserves the relationship but also fosters personal growth. The story of a disciple and his demanding master illustrates this beautifully. A young student, eager to learn, grows increasingly frustrated by his master's relentless challenges and seemingly impossible tasks. At the time, the student perceives these as unnecessary hardships. However, years later, when faced with real-world trials, he recognizes how these lessons prepared him to navigate difficulties with wisdom and strength. This story reminds us that the people who challenge us the most often leave the greatest impact, shaping us in ways we might not appreciate until much later. Even strangers can serve as unexpected teachers. A kind stranger holding the door open for you might remind you of the power of small acts of kindness. On the flip side, an impatient driver cutting you off in traffic could teach you to practice grace under pressure or reflect on how not to let external events dictate your mood. These seemingly minor encounters accumulate, offering constant opportunities to refine your character and mindset. In a professional setting, viewing everyone as a teacher can help you navigate workplace dynamics more effectively. A micromanaging boss, for instance, might frustrate you but also teach you the importance of clear communication and adaptability. Conversely, a mentor who takes the time to guide you can serve as an example of the kind of leader you aspire to be. Each person, through their actions and attitudes, provides insights into how we can improve ourselves or how we might want to behave in the future. This principle is not limited to challenging relationships. Positive interactions also offer lessons, though they may be less obvious at first. A friend who consistently shows up for you during difficult times teaches the value of loyalty and support. A teacher who inspires you with their passion for a subject reminds you of the impact enthusiasm can have on others. These lessons, though pleasant, are equally important in shaping how we approach life and relationships. Social media provides another modern context for this principle. While online interactions can sometimes feel impersonal, they too can serve as learning opportunities. A comment from someone who disagrees with your opinion might teach you how to engage in respectful debate or refine your argument. Conversely, a supportive message from a stranger could remind you of the importance of spreading positivity in a digital world often dominated by negativity. Parenting is a profound example of learning from others, particularly children. While parents are traditionally seen as the teachers, the relationship often works both ways. A child's curiosity, honesty, and ability to live in the moment serve as constant reminders to embrace these qualities in our own lives. For instance, a child asking endless questions about the world might initially test your patience, but their unfiltered curiosity can inspire you to see the world with fresh eyes. Another relatable example is dealing with a friend or coworker who consistently seems to point out your flaws. While this can be uncomfortable, it offers a chance to reflect on whether their feedback holds any truth. If it does, their criticism becomes an opportunity for self-improvement. If it doesn't, it strengthens your ability to discern between constructive feedback and unhelpful negativity. Either way, the interaction becomes a source of growth. Even those who cause us pain or betrayal can teach us profound lessons. A partner who ends a relationship unexpectedly might teach us about resilience, self-love, and the importance of setting boundaries. While the experience may be painful, it often leads to a deeper understanding of ourselves and what we need in future relationships. The key is not to dwell on the hurt, but to extract the lessons and carry them forward. One powerful example comes from the life of Nelson Mandela. During his 27 years of imprisonment, Mandela could have succumbed to bitterness and resentment. Instead, he viewed his captors and the system that oppressed him as teachers. showing him the importance of forgiveness, resilience, and unity. When he emerged from prison, he carried these lessons into his leadership, transforming South Africa and inspiring the world. In daily life, this principle encourages mindfulness. By staying present and observing our interactions, we become more attuned to the lessons each encounter offers. For example, during a frustrating customer service call, instead of focusing on the inconvenience, you might reflect on how you could approach similar situations with more patience and empathy. These small moments accumulate, shaping how you respond to challenges and how you interact with others. Viewing everyone as a teacher also fosters humility. It reminds us that we don't have all the answers and that learning is a lifelong process. Even those we might initially dismiss as less experienced or knowledgeable can offer valuable insights. For instance, a junior colleague might suggest a creative solution you hadn't considered, highlighting the importance of staying open to new ideas regardless of the source. This perspective also deepens our compassion. When we recognize that difficult behavior often stems from someone else's struggles or insecurities, it becomes easier to respond with empathy rather than frustration. For instance, a friend who snaps at you during a conversation might be dealing with stress or unresolved issues. By viewing their reaction as an opportunity to practice understanding, you strengthen the relationship rather than letting it deteriorate. Ultimately, the idea that everyone is a teacher transforms how we approach life. It encourages us to see value in every interaction, whether positive or challenging, and to remain curious and open to growth. By embracing this mindset, we turn each encounter into an opportunity for self-improvement and greater understanding, enriching both our own lives and the lives of those around us. An ethical code serves as a guiding compass in a world often filled with confusion and moral ambiguity. It provides clarity when decisions are difficult and a foundation for building trust and confidence in ourselves and our relationships. Rooted in principles like the 5 precepts in Buddhism, this code emphasizes non-harm, honesty, respect, and mindfulness. Living by an ethical code is not about perfection, but about striving to align our actions with values that promote harmony, both within ourselves and in the world around us. Imagine a workplace scenario where a colleague shares confidential information about another coworker. The temptation to engage in gossip might be strong, especially if it's framed as casual conversation. However, an ethical code rooted in integrity would prompt you to avoid participating. Respecting others' boundaries, even in small interactions, reinforces trust and ensures that your actions remain consistent with your values. While it may feel challenging in the moment to refrain, the long-term benefits of living ethically far outweigh the short-term satisfaction of joining in on gossip. In relationships, ethical living is equally essential. Consider a disagreement with a close friend or partner. It might be tempting to exaggerate a point or twist the truth to win the argument, but doing so erodes trust over time. By choosing honesty, even when it's uncomfortable, you demonstrate respect for the other person and for the relationship itself. This commitment to truth fosters deeper connections and lays the groundwork for lasting harmony. Modern life often presents situations where it feels easier or more convenient to compromise ethics. For example, imagine being at work and realizing that taking shortcuts on a project could save time and effort. While the immediate benefit might seem appealing, this approach can undermine your reputation and self-respect in the long run. Choosing to do the right thing, even when it's inconvenient, builds a sense of inner confidence and earns the respect of others. Over time, these consistent actions create a legacy of reliability and integrity. Respecting others' boundaries is another vital aspect of ethical living. This principle applies not only to personal interactions, but also to broader societal issues. For instance, in today's digital age, respecting privacy is more important than ever. Sharing someone else's personal information without their consent, whether through social media, messaging apps, or casual conversations, violates trust and undermines ethical principles. By valuing and protecting others' boundaries, we contribute to a culture of mutual respect and accountability. The concept of non-harm, one of the core tenets of the 5 precepts, extends beyond physical actions to include our words and intentions. Consider a moment when someone cuts you off in traffic. The immediate reaction might be anger or the urge to retaliate with rude gestures. However, choosing restraint not only prevents harm but also preserves your peace of mind. This practice of non-harm teaches us that our reactions can either escalate negativity or diffuse it, shaping the tone of our interactions and the environment around us. Ethical living also requires mindfulness in how we approach resources and the environment. For example, when shopping, we might choose to support companies that prioritize sustainability and fair labor practices, even if it means spending a little more. These small decisions, repeated consistently, reflect a commitment to living in alignment with values that prioritize the well-being of others and the planet. By making choices that cause less harm, we contribute to a collective effort toward a more compassionate and equitable world. Integrity is a cornerstone of ethical living. It means aligning your actions with your values, even when no one is watching. Consider a scenario where you find a wallet full of cash in a public place. While the opportunity to keep the money might present itself, an ethical code rooted in honesty would compel you to return it to its owner. This choice not only upholds the principle of honesty, but also reinforces your sense of self-respect, knowing that you acted in alignment with your values. In professional settings, integrity is crucial for fostering trust and credibility. A manager who consistently takes responsibility for their mistakes rather than shifting blame earns the respect of their team. Similarly, an employee who refuses to cut ethical corners, even under pressure, demonstrates reliability and commitment. These behaviors may not always lead to immediate rewards, but they build a foundation of trust that supports long-term success and meaningful relationships. One of the challenges of ethical living is navigating situations where doing the right thing might come with personal costs. Imagine being in a group setting where a discriminatory joke is made. Speaking up against it might feel uncomfortable or risk social backlash, but choosing silence compromises your values. By addressing the situation respectfully, you not only uphold your principles but also encourage others to reflect on their actions. These moments, while difficult, are opportunities to demonstrate the courage and conviction that define ethical living. The benefits of an ethical code extend beyond individual actions to the impact they have on the communities we're part of. When individuals consistently act with integrity, they create an environment of trust and mutual respect. Consider a classroom where students adhere to a shared agreement of honesty and fairness. The absence of cheating or manipulation fosters a sense of security and collaboration, allowing everyone to thrive. This same dynamic can be applied to workplaces, neighborhoods, and even larger societal structures. The 5 precepts, which form a foundation for ethical living in Buddhism, offer timeless guidance for navigating modern life. These principles avoiding harm, taking only what is given, refraining from sexual misconduct, speaking truthfully, and avoiding intoxicants are not rigid rules but rather guidelines that encourage mindfulness and compassion. They remind us that our actions have consequences, not only for ourselves but also for those around us. For example, the principle of avoiding harm can be applied to the way we communicate. Words, once spoken, cannot be taken back, and careless remarks can cause lasting pain. Imagine a heated discussion where harsh words are exchanged. By practicing restraint and choosing your words carefully, you not only prevent harm but also model constructive communication for others. This approach fosters healthier relationships and a more supportive environment. Refraining from taking what is not given extends beyond physical possessions to include time, energy, and trust. For instance, respecting someone's time by being punctual or honoring their trust by keeping a confidence are ways we practice this principle in everyday life. These small actions demonstrate respect and consideration, reinforcing the bonds that connect us. In moments of ethical uncertainty, self-reflection is a powerful tool. Asking yourself questions like, does this action align with my values? Or, how would I feel if someone did this to me? Can provide clarity and help you make decisions that uphold your integrity. For example, if faced with a decision to exaggerate results on a report to meet expectations, reflecting on the long-term implications of such an action can reinforce the importance of honesty and transparency. Ethical living also involves the humility to acknowledge when we fall short and the commitment to make amends. No one is perfect, and there will be times when we act in ways that conflict with our values. In these moments, owning up to our mistakes and taking steps to repair any harm caused is a vital part of maintaining integrity. This practice not only strengthens our character, but also rebuilds trust with those affected by our actions. Ultimately, an ethical code is not about rigid adherence to rules, but about cultivating a mindset that prioritizes compassion, respect, and accountability. It acts as a compass, guiding us through the complexities of life and helping us navigate challenges with clarity and confidence. By consistently choosing actions that align with our values, we plant the seeds of lasting peace, both within ourselves and in the world around us. Ethical living is a lifelong journey, one that requires mindfulness, courage, and a commitment to growth. But it is also one of the most rewarding paths we can take. Living according to nature is about aligning ourselves with the rhythms of the world around us and accepting the inherent impermanence of life. It is a principle rooted in understanding that change is not just inevitable, but also essential for growth and renewal. By embracing this flow and learning to adapt, we can navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Much like the cycles of nature, which move through seasons of growth, decay, and renewal, our lives follow similar patterns. Recognizing and accepting this rhythm allows us to find peace and strength even in difficult times. Imagine the way a tree responds to its environment. When strong winds blow, the tree bends rather than resisting, its flexibility preventing it from breaking. Similarly, when storms come into our lives, whether they are financial hardships, personal losses, or unexpected changes, the ability to adapt and bend with the circumstances can keep us grounded. For instance, someone who loses their job might initially feel devastated. However, by accepting the situation and focusing on their transferable skills, they may find new opportunities they hadn't previously considered. This adaptability, like the tree bending with the wind, allows them to not only survive the storm but also emerge stronger. Life's natural flow teaches us that everything is impermanent. Just as winter inevitably gives way to spring, hardships eventually pass, making room for new beginnings. Consider someone going through a breakup. At first, the pain might feel overwhelming, as though it will never end. But with time, they begin to heal, rediscovering themselves and perhaps building a healthier, more fulfilling relationship in the future. Accepting the impermanence of pain doesn't diminish its intensity in the moment, but it reminds us that brighter days lie ahead. This perspective is particularly helpful when dealing with loss. The death of a loved one, for example, is one of the most challenging experiences we face. Yet, nature itself offers wisdom here. In a forest, fallen trees decompose and become part of the soil, nurturing new life. This cycle reminds us that while loss is painful, it is also a part of life's continuous process of renewal. By honoring the memories of those we've lost while continuing to live fully, we align ourselves with this natural cycle and find a sense of peace. Living according to nature also involves recognizing and respecting our own natural rhythms. Modern life often pressures us to be constantly productive, ignoring the fact that rest and reflection are as essential as action. Think of a farmer who lets their fields lie fallow for a season to restore the soil's nutrients. Similarly, taking time to rest and recharge allows us to return to our work and responsibilities with renewed energy and creativity. Ignoring this need can lead to burnout. Much like overworked soil yields poor crops. The principle of living in harmony with nature extends beyond accepting life's rhythms to how we interact with the environment. Consider the simple act of reducing waste or conserving resources. These actions align with nature's principle of balance and reciprocity. For example, composting food scraps not only reduces landfill waste but also enriches the soil, creating a cycle of nourishment that mirrors nature's own processes. By living in ways that respect and support the environment, we contribute to the health of the planet while fostering a deeper connection to the natural world. Nature also teaches us the value of resilience and persistence. A river, for instance, doesn't stop flowing when it encounters an obstacle. Instead, It finds a way around or carves a path through. This persistence is a lesson in perseverance. Think about someone pursuing a goal, such as starting a business or completing a degree. Obstacles are inevitable, whether it's financial struggles, self-doubt, or external criticism. By taking inspiration from the river and continuing to move forward, even if the path requires adjustments, they eventually reach their destination. One of the most relatable examples of living according to nature is how we approach aging. Society often views aging as something to resist, with industries built around anti-aging products and procedures. However, nature shows us that aging is a natural and beautiful process. Trees grow stronger with age, their rings telling stories of the seasons they've endured. Similarly, embracing our own aging process allows us to focus on the wisdom, experiences, and depth that come with time, rather than clinging to fleeting youth. This principle also applies to how we handle change. Change, while often uncomfortable, is necessary for growth. Consider a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. The process is not easy. It involves shedding its old self and enduring a period of vulnerability. Yet, without this transformation, the butterfly could never take flight. In our own lives, changes such as moving to a new city, starting a new career, or ending a relationship may feel daunting. But by viewing these moments as opportunities for transformation, we align with nature's flow and open ourselves to new possibilities. Mindfulness is a practical tool for living according to nature. By staying present and observing the world around us, we become more attuned to its rhythms and lessons. Imagine taking a walk in a park and noticing the way the leaves change color in the fall. This simple act of observation can serve as a reminder that change is not only natural but also beautiful. Mindfulness helps us slow down and appreciate the present moment, rather than clinging to the past or anxiously anticipating the future. Living in harmony with nature also involves cultivating gratitude for what we have. Just as a farmer gives thanks for a bountiful harvest, we can find joy in the simple blessings of our lives. A warm meal, a kind word, or a quiet moment of reflection are all gifts of the present moment. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, fostering a sense of abundance and contentment that aligns with nature's generosity. Another aspect of living according to nature is recognizing the interconnectedness of all life. In a forest, every element, trees, animals, fungi, and insects plays a role in maintaining balance. Similarly, our actions impact the people and world around us. Consider how volunteering in your community or supporting local businesses strengthens social connections and contributes to the well-being of others. By recognizing our role within the larger ecosystem, we can make choices that support harmony and sustainability. Flexibility is another crucial lesson from nature. Just as plants grow towards sunlight or animals adapt to changing environments, we too must learn to adjust to life circumstances. For example, during the COVID-19 pandemic, many people had to adapt to working from home, homeschooling children, or finding new ways to connect with loved ones. Those who embraced flexibility and found creative solutions were better able to navigate the challenges. This adaptability mirrors nature's ability to thrive under ever-changing conditions. Ultimately, living according to nature is about embracing life as it is, rather than resisting it. It's about finding peace in the impermanence of seasons, relationships, and experiences, knowing that each moment is part of a larger cycle. By aligning with nature's rhythms, we cultivate resilience, gratitude, and a deeper sense of connection to the world around us. Life's storms may come, but like the tree bending with the wind or the river finding its way, we too can adapt, grow, and thrive. Gratitude has the power to transform even the most challenging circumstances into opportunities for growth and positivity. It is not just a passive emotion, but an active practice that, like a muscle, grows stronger with consistent effort. The more you incorporate gratitude into your daily life, the more it shapes your mindset, amplifies joy, and diminishes suffering. By focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, gratitude shifts your perspective, helping you navigate difficulties with resilience and a sense of abundance. Imagine a CEO facing the stress of running a company in a competitive industry. Every day brings challenges, market fluctuations, tough decisions, and endless responsibilities. However, this CEO begins each morning by listing 3 things they're grateful for, such as supportive colleagues, a recent business milestone, or even something as simple as a warm cup of coffee. This practice doesn't eliminate the challenges, but reframes the day, grounding the CEO in positivity and setting the tone for a calm and productive mindset. By focusing on the good, they create a mental buffer against stress and approach problems with greater clarity. This concept of gratitude as a muscle is essential to its transformative power. Just as physical exercise strengthens your body over time, regularly practicing gratitude strengthens your ability to see the positive in any situation. Consider someone recovering from an injury. Initially, they might feel frustrated by their limitations, but by focusing on small victories, being able to take a few steps, or the support of loved ones, they gradually cultivate a sense of appreciation. Over time, this mindset helps them stay motivated and optimistic throughout their recovery. A simple but effective way to build the habit of gratitude is by keeping a gratitude journal. At the end of each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. These don't have to be monumental. They could be as small as enjoying a sunny day, receiving a kind text from a friend, or completing a task you've been procrastinating on. This practice trains your brain to notice and appreciate positive moments, even in the midst of chaos or difficulty. Over time, the act of writing these down rewires your thinking, making gratitude an automatic response to life's ups and downs. Gratitude also has a profound effect on relationships. Imagine a couple who, after years together, begins to take each other for granted. Small annoyances overshadow the kindness and support they share. By consciously expressing gratitude, thanking each other for everyday gestures like cooking dinner or listening after a tough day, they not only rekindle their connection, but also strengthen their bond. This principle applies to all relationships, from friendships to professional partnerships. A simple thank you can transform interactions, fostering goodwill and mutual respect. The impact of gratitude extends beyond personal well-being to professional success. Consider an employee who regularly acknowledges the contributions of their team members. By creating a culture of gratitude, they boost morale, increase collaboration, and enhance productivity. Conversely, a workplace lacking gratitude can feel demoralizing, leading to disengagement and high turnover. Recognizing and appreciating the efforts of others, whether through verbal praise or a handwritten note, not only motivates them but also builds a supportive and positive work environment. Gratitude is particularly powerful in reframing negative experiences. Imagine someone who has recently gone through a difficult breakup. At first, the pain and loss might seem all-consuming. However, by reflecting on what they gained from the relationship, personal growth, cherished memories, or lessons learned, they begin to see the experience in a different light. This shift doesn't negate the pain but balances it, allowing room for healing and hope. Even in the face of significant challenges, gratitude can provide a sense of grounding. Consider a family affected by a natural disaster, forced to rebuild their home and lives from scratch. Amid the devastation, they might focus on the fact that everyone is safe or that their community has come together to offer support. This gratitude for what remains provides strength and resilience, helping them move forward with determination and optimism. Gratitude also fosters a sense of abundance. In a world that often encourages comparison and a constant striving for more, gratitude reminds us of the richness of what we already have. Imagine scrolling through social media and seeing posts of exotic vacations, luxurious lifestyles, or career milestones. It's easy to feel envious or inadequate, but by practicing gratitude for your own life, your home, your health, your relationships, you counteract these feelings of lack and develop a sense of contentment. One of the most compelling aspects of gratitude is its ability to shift focus from external circumstances to internal perspective. For example, 2 people might experience the same situation, such as missing a flight. One person focuses on the inconvenience, growing increasingly frustrated. The other, while acknowledging the setback, chooses to appreciate the extra time to read a book or call a loved one. This choice to focus on the positive not only improves their mood but also reduces stress, allowing them to handle the situation more effectively. Gratitude is also a key component of mental health. Studies have shown that individuals who practice gratitude regularly report lower levels of stress and depression and higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. Imagine someone struggling with anxiety. By making a habit of identifying things they're grateful for each day, they gradually shift their focus away from worries and toward moments of joy or comfort. This doesn't mean the anxiety disappears, but it becomes more manageable as gratitude provides a counterbalance. Children offer a beautiful example of natural gratitude. A child excitedly thanking their parents for a new toy or marveling at the beauty of a rainbow reminds us of the simplicity and authenticity of gratitude. Adults can learn from this by reconnecting with a sense of wonder and appreciation for the small joys in life. Whether it's savoring a favorite meal, enjoying a walk in nature, or laughing with a friend, these moments are opportunities to cultivate gratitude. Gratitude also enhances physical health. It's been shown to improve sleep, lower blood pressure, and boost immune function. Imagine someone who starts their day with a gratitude meditation, focusing on their body and all it allows them to do: walking, breathing, seeing. This practice not only centers them emotionally, but also contributes to their overall well-being. In difficult times, gratitude can act as a shield against despair. During the COVID-19 pandemic, many people faced isolation, uncertainty, and loss. Those who practiced gratitude for their health, for the efforts of frontline workers, for the technology that kept them connected found it easier to maintain a sense of hope. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but provides a foundation of resilience, helping us endure and even grow through adversity. Gratitude is not about ignoring problems or pretending life is perfect. It's about acknowledging the good alongside the difficult, creating a balanced perspective. Imagine someone facing financial struggles. While they work to improve their situation, they might also focus on what they do have: a supportive family, a roof over their head, or access to resources that can help. This balance of effort and appreciation fosters both motivation and contentment. The act of expressing gratitude not only benefits the giver but also strengthens relationships. For example, writing a heartfelt thank you letter to a mentor or friend can deepen the connection and leave a lasting impression. These gestures of gratitude create ripples, inspiring others to pay it forward and spreading positivity in a way that uplifts entire communities. In every aspect of life, gratitude serves as a powerful tool for transformation. It reframes challenges, strengthens relationships, enhances well-being, and fosters resilience. By making gratitude a daily practice, whether through journaling, meditation, or simply pausing to reflect on the good, we cultivate a mindset that amplifies joy and diminishes suffering. Gratitude doesn't require grand gestures or perfect circumstances. It thrives in the small, ordinary moments of life, reminding us that even amid difficulties, there is always something to be thankful for. There was once a young monk who lived peacefully in a serene monastery nestled in the mountains. His life was simple yet fulfilling, dedicated to meditation, teaching, and serving others. Among his peers was a close friend, another monk, with whom he shared countless conversations and dreams of enlightenment. One day, however, this trusted friend, driven by jealousy, falsely accused the young monk of theft in front of their teacher and the community. The accusation shattered the monk's reputation, leaving him isolated and humiliated. Rather than succumbing to anger or despair, the monk turned inward, reflecting deeply on the teachings of forgiveness and compassion. He understood that his friend's actions stemmed from insecurity and suffering, not malice. Over time, the monk approached his former friend, not to demand an apology, but to express understanding and forgiveness. His gesture of compassion shocked the other monk, who eventually confessed and sought forgiveness. This act of forgiveness not only restored harmony within the monastery, but also deepened the young monk's wisdom, showing how compassion can mend even the deepest wounds. In another part of the world, a single mother named Maria lived in a small, dilapidated apartment with her 2 children after her husband passed away. Maria struggled to make ends meet, often working 2 jobs just to put food on the table. Despite her hardships, Maria chose to focus on the blessings in her life. Every evening, she gathered her children around the table and asked them to share one thing they were grateful for that day. Sometimes it was as simple as having a warm meal or the kindness of a neighbor who helped fix a broken door. This practice of gratitude transformed their outlook. Instead of dwelling on what they lacked, Maria and her children began to notice the beauty in small moments, laughter during a board game, a sunny day, or the smell of fresh bread from the bakery downstairs. Over time, Maria's mindset inspired her to pursue a dream she had long abandoned, starting her own catering business. With the help of her community, she began cooking for local events, eventually growing her business into a success. What once seemed like a life defined by scarcity became one filled with purpose and joy, all rooted in her unwavering gratitude. In the fast-paced world of corporate leadership, James, a CEO of a thriving tech company, found himself teetering on the edge of burnout. Meetings stretched into late nights, emails piled up faster than he could respond, and the pressure to stay ahead of competitors felt relentless. His physical and mental health began to decline, and the stress started seeping into his personal life, straining his relationships with his family. One day, during a rare moment of quiet, James stumbled upon a podcast about mindfulness and decided to give meditation a try. At first, he struggled to sit still, his mind racing with thoughts of deadlines and responsibilities. But as he committed to a daily practice, starting with just 5 minutes each morning, he noticed a shift. Meditation became a sanctuary, a time to ground himself and reflect on his priorities. Gradually, James implemented mindfulness into his work culture, encouraging his team to take short breaks for breathing exercises and even creating a quiet space in the office for reflection. The results were transformative not only for James, but also for his company. Productivity increased, employee satisfaction improved, and James found a renewed sense of balance. Through mindfulness, he reclaimed his health, strengthened his leadership, and reconnected with what truly mattered. These stories highlight the profound impact of forgiveness, gratitude, and mindfulness, showing how these principles can transform lives. Each example resonates because they are grounded in struggles we all face: betrayal, hardship, and stress, yet they offer pathways to resilience, growth, and fulfillment. The 10 principles explored are not just philosophical ideas but practical tools that, when applied consistently, can transform your approach to life. They teach us to find strength in clarity of purpose, resilience through gratitude, and wisdom in mindfulness. These principles invite us to see challenges not as barriers but as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Whether it's learning to forgive, embracing the natural flow of life, or practicing gratitude even in difficult times, each principle offers a way to cultivate inner peace and resilience. Firm purposes act as a foundation, guiding you through the chaos of life with clarity and direction. When your goals are clear, distractions lose their power, and challenges become stepping stones toward fulfillment. Gratitude, on the other hand, transforms your perspective. By focusing on what you have rather than what you lack, you amplify joy and diminish suffering. It's not about ignoring difficulties, but about balancing them with a deep appreciation for life's blessings. Mindfulness complements these practices by keeping you grounded in the present moment. It helps you navigate stress and uncertainty with calmness and clarity, turning reactive moments into thoughtful responses. These principles are not meant to be mastered overnight. Start small. Take a few moments each morning to reflect on your purpose. Ask yourself what truly matters and how your actions can align with those values. Then, practice gratitude by identifying 3 things you're thankful for, no matter how small. This simple habit rewires your brain to seek positivity, even in challenging circumstances. Incorporate mindfulness into your day, whether through a brief meditation, a mindful walk, or simply pausing to take a few deep breaths during a stressful moment. The ripple effects of these small practices can be profound. As you cultivate inner peace, you inspire those around you to do the same. Share your journey, your struggles, lessons, and victories with others, Your experiences may encourage someone else to begin their own path of transformation, creating a chain reaction of positive change. Your inner peace is your greatest strength. It is the anchor that steadies you in life's storms, the light that guides you through uncertainty, and the wellspring of resilience that fuels your growth. Protect it by aligning your actions with your values. Nurture it through daily practices of gratitude and mindfulness, and let it guide you toward a life of purpose and fulfillment. These principles are not just practices. They are a way of life that leads to deeper connection, lasting peace, and true joy. You've just taken the first step toward transforming how you approach life. These 10 principles are more than words, they are tools to reshape your mindset, redefine your challenges, and reignite your sense of purpose. Whether it's practicing gratitude, setting clear intentions, or mastering the art of mindfulness, every small action you take from here will bring you closer to the life you've always envisioned. But remember, this journey isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Start small. Take a moment today to reflect on your purpose. Jot down a few things you're grateful for, or simply breathe and let go of what you cannot control. These small steps compound into profound changes over time. Now, here's where the magic happens. Share your story in the comments below. What resonated with you most? Which principle will you start with? Your experiences might inspire someone else to take that first step, creating a ripple effect of transformation. If this video brought value to your life, don't forget to like, share it with someone who might need these lessons, and subscribe to the channel for more content that uplifts and empowers. Your support helps this community grow and allows us to continue sharing these insights with the world. Hit the bell icon to join us on this incredible journey of growth and inner peace. Remember, your inner peace is your greatest strength. Protect it, nurture it, and let it guide you. Until next time, stay mindful, stay grounded, and keep thriving. See you in the next video.